welcome back to another Bad Movie Reviews review hosted by your two favourite buzziest movie review. That was terrible.
Jeez.
But without further ado, we are reviewing a buzzy movie, The Beekeeper.
Yeah. Doesn't have much of a buzz about it.
It's January. It's January. It's well and truly hit. Although we do get our war film. But if you don't know what the film is, it is starring none other than Jason Statham.
Yep.
And plot-wise, I'll try and keep it as a usual bare bones as possible. It's basically about pretty much a revenge tale, and he's part of a former operative of an organization called the Beekeepers, like a confidential keeper. It is, however, directed and written by David Ayer, who over the years has progressively gotten worse. Keeping it a buck. I mean, he wrote Training Day, which is an impeccable film, but directed...
Fury was unreal.
Directed, yeah. Well, Street Kings 2008, I think, is an underrated film with Mark Wahlberg, I believe it was. It might have been Keanu Reeves. I can't quite remember at the top of my head. With Forrest Whitaker. End of Watch is a great film with Jake Gyllenhaal. Fury, and then you've got Suicide Squad, Bright, which was that Netflix one with Will Smith, which was truly terrible.
That was a bit of a weird one. I kind of didn't mind some of that, though, but it was kind of a bit...
and then The Tax Collector, but it is The Beekeeper, Jason Statham... You've also got Jeremy Irons in the role as the role of Wallace as well, and other notable performance actors. You've got Josh Hutcherson in the film as well. But look, to like as I said, it is January, and if you don't know what I'm referring to in that, it's usually referred to as the dumping ground for studios where. It's a busy time in the cinemas because there's holidays and stuff like that, but their movies generally aren't good.
Yeah. This may have followed a similar pattern.
This definitely followed a similar. Look, I don't know. Like, it's probably hard. I don't think it's terrible. I actually had a decent. Like, it was enjoyable. Like, I could tell anyone to watch it, and they probably would think it's fine.
I feel like it was enjoyable. Like Expendables 3 is enjoyable, not the fourth one. Obviously, that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. The most recent one, actually with Jason Statham in it. But Expendables 3, it's kind of like, oh, here's this really like kind of cool action. You're like, I'm kind of, I think, interested in that, but it's missing some key aspects of a foundation of a film.
Yes. Well, to be honest, Jason Statham has probably similar to
the director.
The director has progressively gotten worse over the years. Not as an actor, but as the films he's in.
Yeah.
To be honest, the last good film he was in, honestly, was Spy, in my opinion, which was like 2015, which was like the action comedy with Melissa McCarthy. Who? Cranked from what, like 2000?
Yeah, it was great.
No, 2015's the last like good film I remember him in, to be honest.
Crank sucked.
Spy was a great film with Melissa McCarthy, and he plays kind of like the piss take of a character.
Oh, yeah. I think my mum loves that film.
Yeah, well, rightfully so. Your mum's got good taste, and she probably will watch this, so she'll appreciate it. But no, like to be honest, I think David Ayer is like a very capable director, but to be like this film just wasn't. It wasn't cohesive. Like the script. It is written by Kurt Wimmer, but. The screenplay itself, like the plot is just so bare bones.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this happens. And you kind of have lost all, I mean, as I said, it's a revenge tale. And not that I want to compare the two because I don't think they're comparable in any situation. But when you've got like a film like John Wick where it's a revenge tale.
Yep.
You've got a dog which is killed, which everyone can rally around because the
dog even had more significance other than just being
no one hates it, but like this character that experiences this situation, you literally probably spend 13 seconds with her in the film.
Yeah.
So like you kind of feel sympathy and empathy for what happened, but like you also don't understand why he's like. It's not written enough. Like the characters aren't written well enough for you to go fair enough.
Yeah.
In terms of like, I'm going to go kill all these people for this person because it's like, and there's obviously the law situation of the beekeepers as well, which you don't really hear much about. And I presume they probably created this world for it, but it's like,
which are kind of like the table, I guess, per se.
Yeah. But I think my perception of it is that I don't think they explained that
No.
Like, no one understood what the beekeepers were. They kept being like, oh, the queen's this, they're this, like they're used as this. But it's like, there wasn't really any, and not that you always need explanation, but like a bit of exposition in that situation probably would have gone a long way in terms of what they actually are.
Sure.
And the whole thing is he retired as well, like, which is obviously, in the trailer, like,
Yep.
Now he's actually genuinely keeping bees and milking them for honey. But,
Is that the technical definition there?
no, I got no idea. I just
Maybe it is,
milking them
but it seems right.
I'm sure milking is extracting any
Yeah. I don't know. Let's not
goo-like
get into that
substance.
side of, things.
Yeah, we won't get into it. Inappropriate, but
For me, I guess because we're kind of talking around some of the plot there. No, like really spoiler or anything, but there's kind of like two plots that go on at the same time. Obviously, the main one with Jason Statham, his character Clay, and then there's the plot of the daughter, who's the FBI, and that they
Agent,
were not
Verona or something. Yeah.
they were not cohesive at all, and
Well, they really only had
if-
one or two run-in for the film.
like I don't know what the point of it was. Like I don't know what value
I think
that
it was
side
really
brought to the film.
I understand what side it was. It was to bring in some kind of moral conflict, really, because she's obviously an FBI agent, so there's the conflict of
Thought her acting
revenge. She wasn't the best part of that. I won't shit on her because like she's making a career. She's doing a lot better than me. But,
Oh, yeah, we're sitting here at the table
we're sitting
in
here
our
reviewing.
lounge
We're
room.
sitting here just paid money and reviewing the film she's in. So
Correct.
I won't like do any of that. But I know she's in the she's actually in Umbrella Academy, which I actually really enjoy, the Netflix show. I can't remember who she plays, but it was to create moral conflict. I understand that of like like the law and moral, like
difference
law
between
and
law
revenge.
and justice, really.
Yeah, I mean, fun. It's almost like you took that line straight out of the last line said in the film, but no, like it was. I understand that, but it's just like the script is so bare bones. Like the actual what happens, it's an hour and 45, but it's like. It's not like I can't remember what film we saw. It wasn't. Wasn't the biggest fan, but people liked it. The Sisu film of the World War II veteran who, in World War II, and it was like really just gory for the sake of being gory, and like he ties someone to a plane or something. It came out last year, but it was just nonstop action.
Oh, yeah.
And this film, I feel like this film really would have worked if it was nonstop action. Like,
Yes.
and I mean, not time to breathe. The reason why, like, a film like Mission Impossible or John Wick or I can't remember what else came out that's a good action film last year.
Silent Night.
Yeah, I mean, unironic. Like, there is a films that are just balls to the wall action, but that was balls to the walls action. But John Wick and had a likable performance in David Harbour. But Jason Statham plays his usual stoic self in this, which he's good at. But it's not like he's a thespian incredible actor that's worked all these, like he's just there.
That is correct.
The one part I don't mind about this film, to be honest, and I think it's because it is a vast departure from what they usually do, is Josh Hutcherson as Derek. I've seen him as like the lovable Peter in Hunger Games, obviously recently even as a lovable character in Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy, which was atrocious, but playing like this scumbag little son.
Yeah.
I didn't mind seeing him, and he had fun. And Jeremy Irons, in my opinion, is the best part about the film as Wallace. Like, he's an incredible actor. But I thought the best lines in the film were the ones that Josh Hutcherson's character were doing.
It was good to see him like express some of his range.
That joke completely went over your head. I was
did.
expecting, I'm really upset about that. And I'm sure people at home will give. But
been a big day.
it's been But no, I think it's a completely forgettable film, and it rightfully deserves its spot in January. In saying that, I don't think it's terrible. Like,
No, not the worst.
some of
movie.
the action here and there, like, is decent. The sound design and mixing is fine. Like, we watched Extraction 2 last year, where the sound mixing, like, someone was shooting a Gatling gun, and it was almost like me taking a whiz in the toilet. Like, it was just
pretty much him
non-existent.
ripping paper at the same time. That was about it.
But like, there was no weight.
Nothing.
Whereas there was definitely weight to this. There's
Yeah.
especially a fight scene at the end where I was like, this sound design's actually really well done. There's weight to every punch.
And I
There's,
did
like-
enjoy the fight scenes in this film. Like that choreography was quite good.
I thought they were too far in between, though.
Yes.
That's the thing. I don't think these characters had great development to warrant having this whole story in that sense, and like I do like the fact that it did kind of delve into like telemarketing scammers, which is something we probably haven't really seen a lot in Hollywood films per se.
No.
Or ones that I remember anyway, but I like that. No one, likes them really, especially the one that do target, old people, which is
Correct.
99% of them. But it was fine. Like I had an enjoyable time. It was like some of the action, but even then, I felt like it was a bit overly edited, especially in the action scenes. You couldn't take in and absorb what was happening because like
It felt like there was a lot of jumps and cuts.
Yeah,
between
so
it
like
all,
Jason Statham threw a punch and it's like dum dum dum, like 3 cuts and it's like cool. I just saw him throw a punch to the midair and then someone just in the next cut like. But I don't know. I don't know if I don't know where it went wrong, whether it's the script or the direction. Because like as I said, I think David Ayer is significantly. I think maybe whether he should potentially write his films, like Training Day is genuinely a phenomenal movie. I really don't know.
Don't know. But I did, like, going back, a few jumps there, I didn't mind seeing Josh Hutcherson play a bad guy. Similar with how I actually really enjoyed seeing Daniel Radcliffe play a bad guy.
In the Lost City of Z. That was actually...
Yeah,
no, not the Lost City of Z, was it? Is
Lost
that
City. It was the Lost City.
Lost
Yeah,
City of
close-
Z is
close
like
enough.
the incredible book from the same guy who wrote Killers of the Flower Moon. And it's also a movie with
there you go.
Charlie Hunnam, I think it was.
But yeah, it was those kind of aspects. Like, I really liked seeing the range, and you're right.
He was good in it. He was good in the role.
You always see those kind of characters play similar roles, or even if they play side roles, they're kind of always kind of still like a lovable person, maybe like the go-getter, the kind of friend to someone or something like that. And it's really nice to see them be like the dick in a film. Like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I do enjoy it.
Shout out to Daniel Radcliffe's performance. I actually really liked that in Lost City.
Yeah, and I did like Josh's performance in this. I thought he was
Correct,
probably one of
yeah.
the best. Him and Jeremy were probably the best
They were trying to
bits
hold
of the
the film
film.
together.
I don't, to be honest as well, like I don't know if this film would have worked more for me if they actually had a likable main character. I don't know if the stoic character works for me in this situation where he's trying to obviously morally be good, but it's like it's like I'm killing my, I'm revenging my
Was that your
friend.
Jason Statham
No,
voice?
it was just
That's
like
pretty good.
that's just like what it sounds like. There's no delivery. There's no like personality to that
Yeah.
character. Unironically, if you did have a person like David Harbour play this, where it's like, it's unbelievable in the sense that, he's obviously one of the best, agents in the world, because you just look at him and you're like, you're probably not, but that's just, obviously, but that's just maybe would have worked more for me if that, because I just didn't like the character. I liked what he was doing in the sense that he's revenging a situation that I probably would also be really annoyed at.
What do you reckon the retirement age is for a beekeeper?
I don't know, but to be 40 and retired and doing beekeeping, yeah. I mean, I don't know how old Jason Statham is, but look, in saying that, I do probably think it is one of the better January films in quite some time.
I agree. We saw some donuts last year and the year prior.
Oh, didn't Megan come out in Jan and like? There is usually some terrible movies that come out in
I think
Jan.
we watched The Invitation last year.
Yeah, Beast.
Well, I don't
With
know if they were
Idris Elba.
January films, but they definitely sucked.
Yeah. Look. If you haven't seen every other good film out right now, like I'm sure Wonka's still playing.
Yep.
Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes, which I think is a great film.
Even Killer of the Flower Moon still running in some cinemas.
I think it comes to streaming tomorrow, actually,
Oh, how
but
about that?
Apple TV. But there are some seriously good films still out.
Yep.
If you have drained all of that though, and it's a Monday afternoon where tickets are $10 at Nova or down the road,
Your local
you'd
cinema,
you'd probably be fine with this, and you'll probably enjoy it. It's not something you can sit there and be like, I despise this. It's just like,
Yeah.
you have a fun time.
Just don't
It's
go in
whatever.
expecting much, but you might enjoy it.
Yeah, like any Jason Statham film, funnily enough, I don't think you really.
Actually, I know we're kind of rounding it up here, but his last film, was it Operation Fortune or something like that?
Yeah, it was
felt like it was
terrible.
the exact same
was
film as we
terrible.
just watched, right? He's just like some agent.
Yeah, he
now.
just
does
plays the
like
same
cool
character.
fight scene,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
The only good thing about that film was Hugh Grant, but
I do enjoy Hugh Grant.
yeah.
Something about his voice.
yeah, it's the fact that he has personality. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Jason
true,
Statham,
true.
on the other hand, I mean, he's made a career out of it. But what can I say? He's obviously good at what he does. But yeah, look, if you have seen it, I'm sure it's come out in America potentially. I'm not 100% sure. If you have seen it, comment below what you think of the film. Like our review, subscribe if you like our content, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.